Hi everyone, Christine and Regine here. Today we are making baked mashed potatoes with cheese and shrimp. It is pretty simple to make and is absolutely one of the best ways to make baked mashed potatoes. Without further ado, let's get started. Here are our ingredients for the mashed potatoes. We will use a different set of ingredients for our shrimp. Here we have half a cup of mayo, half a cup or 1 stick of salted butter, half a cup of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of adobo, 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. I use either habanero or Scotch bonnet, but you could use whatever kind of hot sauce you prefer. Half a cup of chopped scallions, and a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley. Here are our potatoes. We have a total of 3 pounds of potatoes already peeled. And now we are going to go ahead and cut them up like I did. And I did this to make it easier to mash. So just cut it into cubes and mash it. Now for this particular baked mashed potatoes, I do not like to mash my potatoes completely into like a typical creamy whatever that you usually get with mashed potatoes. I prefer mine to be a little chunky. So now we can go ahead and add our ingredients. So once again, here's our half cup of mayo. And yeah, that just happened. I'm like trying to get the mayo out of the cup, and then I don't know, it just flies out and lands on my finger. So just use a spatula instead, because what just happened to me won't happen to you. I really don't like when that happens. And okay, so here is our 1 stick of salted butter, which I have melted. And then scrape down the bowl to get the rest of all the butter out. And now let's add our half cup of heavy cream. And then I'm going to continue mashing until I get everything nice and combined. But I'm not going to mash all the way like I said earlier. I'm just going to keep it a little chunky. From here, we can continue adding the rest of our ingredients. So here we have 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of adobo, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Here is our half cup of chopped scallions, and our chopped fresh parsley. And now let's just use a spoon to stir everything together. So here are our ingredients for our shrimp. Here we have a teaspoon of adobo, a tablespoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of hot sauce. Here we have 2 pounds of shrimp, peeled and deveined and not pre-cooked. So now we're going to add our ingredients to it. So once again, it's going to be a tablespoon of hot sauce, and it could be any hot sauce of your choice. 1 tablespoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of adobo, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. Let's stir the ingredients into the shrimp, and then when we're done, we can go ahead and let our shrimp to marinate in the fridge for a little bit to get optimum flavor. So now let's cover our bowl of shrimp and put it in the fridge to let it marinate for about 30 minutes to an hour. And once the time is up, we can go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 stick of salted butter to a large pan over medium heat. And once the butter has completely melted, let's add 4 minced garlic cloves to the pan and cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. We want to infuse the oil and butter with that nice garlic flavor before we cook our shrimp in there. And then let's also add 1 large chopped onion to the pot as well and continue stirring so we can get some of that nice onion flavor too. About 2 or 3 minutes will do, or until the onions are just slightly golden brown. Here is our shrimp, so now let's go ahead and add it to the bowl, and we're going to cook it on each side for about 1 minute. I know that 1 minute doesn't sound like a lot of time, but remember that we are making baked mashed potatoes, so our shrimp will continue to cook in the oven, so don't worry about it being undercooked. We'll be fine. And make sure that you are cooking your shrimp in the largest pan that you have so that it has enough room to cook evenly. As you can see here, I'm kind of trying to like shift all the shrimp over to make sure that everyone gets a chance to like cook fully. And then I'm stirring it so I can go ahead and flip them over to cook on the other side. And you see, I wasn't cooking them for that long, but you can see that they're already turning pink. So, shrimp does not take that long to cook. So that's why I said only 1 minute on top of the fact that we will be baking them. So now that our shrimp is done cooking, let's add our mashed potatoes to the pot. So now let's stir everything together. And now it's time to add some cheese. So we're going to add 2 ounces of feta cheese, 2 cups of cheddar cheese, and 1 cup of parmesan cheese. And let's also add half a cup of diced red bell peppers because it adds a nice color to the overall dish, and you know how much I love color in my food. So now let's continue stirring one last time before we transfer everything into a baking dish. So let's prepare our baking dish with some cooking spray. And now let's transfer everything to the baking dish. Make sure you smooth everything out so that it all bakes evenly. So now I'm just adding more cheese on top because cheese makes everything better. And then I'm just using extra cheddar here. You could use whatever cheese you want to put on top though. Like if you want to use the combination of all three, like the feta, the cheddar, and the parmesan, then you can do that. So we're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. And look how delicious and beautiful this looks with all the cheese on top. And you can see like the scallions and the red bell peppers and the nice color that it all adds to the potatoes. And I just love it. And here is our cheesy shrimp baked mashed potatoes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you like this recipe. For more recipes, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. And please also check out my website, ChristinaRegineCooks.com, where I post all of the written versions of my recipes. Thank you guys so much once again. Until next time, bye.